Hello, everyone, and welcome to Age-Friendly Chelmsford. This is Debbie Suriani. I'm the director of the Chelmsford Senior Center and the co-chair of the Age-Friendly Committee. I have a great guest with me today, and his name is Craig Bonaceto. He's the president of the Table of Plenty. Welcome, Craig.
Thank you so much for having me, Debbie. I'm thrilled to be here.
We're so happy to have you. Tell people out there who don't know what Table of Plenty is. What is Table of Plenty?
Sure. Table of Plenty is a weekly meal program that serves at the Chelmsford Senior Center every Tuesday night from 5 to 6 p.m. I will say we do not limit who can come to Table of Plenty. There is no age restriction. It is welcome to all ages. We have families who come. We sometimes have young children who come. We love the diversity of ages. That really helps build our population. So really the cornerstone of what we do is that weekly meal. And we also have expanded, and we'll maybe talk about this during the show, we've expanded some of our outreach initiatives to more broadly address food insecurity in Chelmsford. But really the cornerstone of what we do is the weekly meal. And it has two purposes, really. One of the things that differentiate Table of Plenty, I think, from the Chelmsford Food Pantry, who we also partner with. But it's really our focus on not only addressing hunger in Chelmsford, but also addressing social isolation.
Absolutely.
So giving people a place to gather and build community is really a core part of our mission as well.
Yeah, I think and it's Tuesday night, and it's from 5 o'clock until 6, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
But people start gathering really like probably 3 or 4.
They do. They do.
Which we love.
We do love that. We have some regular guests who've been coming to Table of Plenty for maybe the last 10 years, some even since the beginning 15 years ago. And some of our guests do love to get there early to see their friends, to do some socializing before the meal. But we do our best to make sure the community is welcoming to everyone. So whether you arrive at 3:30 or 5:45, we're going to give you a hot meal and we're going to help you sit down and meet some people.
With a smile.
With
Absolutely.
a smile. With a smile.
And this year, this month, we're going tonight. You've invited some of the Senior Center staff as guests to go to the 15-year anniversary.
That is right. Today, May 20th, is a milestone for us.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, we celebrate 15 years of doing this. Our first meal was almost 15 years to the day. It was May 18th, 2010, and we served 7 guests at that first meal.
Oh my gosh, and how many are we now?
We average about 120 to 140 guests each week.
Tonight might be breaking a record.
It may. So our record, and we do have some meals that are quite popular with our population. Meatloaf, chicken pot pie that we're doing tonight. So we could see a very large turnout, and we're excited about that. We're ready.
Sometimes turkey even.
We do,
You do like a lot around the holidays and different. What about, have you done some culturally interesting meals too, or are we working on that? We were talking about maybe.
That is certainly something for us to work on. So we have done some Asian themed meals for the first time in our history. Some of our chefs get very creative. And for Chinese New Year, for example, we did a few Asian themed meals then. We do tend to stick more to the comfort food that a lot of our guests are familiar with.
Right.
Is sort of our bread and butter, but we have gotten a little adventurous.
Yeah, you had a Cinco de Mayo.
And
right?
we did celebrate
churros.
Cinco de Mayo. We did churros,
That was really fun.
So we do get out there and we do some more adventurous meals, and it's really the creativity of our cooks is really amazing. They really do things restaurant style. So it's not like a soup kitchen or a food kitchen.
You get served.
We really want to make people feel special when they are there, and treat them special, and do a special meal and serve it in a special way, just like they would do if they were eating out at a restaurant.
Absolutely. I think that's what makes it so popular, is they really feel like it's like a party. It really is. I mean, you have people coming dressed up. Sometimes you have entertainment. I mean,
we do. We do. Yeah, we really do our best to create a vibrant community and atmosphere for our guests, show how much we appreciate them. And for a lot of our guests, they say to us that this is like their one night out a week. It's what they look forward to every week. And for us to be able to do something special for them each week, it's really a gift that we're able to give that to them.
It really is. We're so happy to partner with you at the Senior Center for sure.
Yeah.
So we actually have a little clip to show what it's like to set up and show a little bit of our volunteers in the space itself. So let's take a look.
I think that it's an important thing to show people that we care and that we're there for them.
Tonight's a special meal for a woman named Rose, and we get our supplies a lot from local establishments, and one of them is BJ's. And I have a contact there, and I told her, could you do a cupcake that looks like a rose? And look at these beautiful cupcakes she made. She made 156 of them, red, pink, with a little green leaf on it. That's what we do here at the Table of Plenty. We try to make every meal special.
I like to give back, and I like to cook, and this is an opportunity for me to do both of those things. I'm not a great cook, but I like the chopstick. So tonight it's watermelon, it's the double. But I have been known to chop other things as well.
Makes me feel good to do something helpful and give back to the community and people in need. And we have a lot of fun working together on the project. So
I'm just very blessed. I've been treasurer for 15 years and still I'm doing it. And we're here to serve people. And sure enough, Chelmsford needed this program.
So, I mean, they're just all so wonderful and they're all so happy. I just, that's what it's like to be there and to volunteer and to be, what you are greeted with when you get there too. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, the volunteers are the backbone of our organization. We could not exist without them. We are so thankful for them. They're the most compassionate, energetic people that you could meet, and it's a great team to be part of. So if you're interested in volunteering, please reach out.
Tell us a little bit about
where
you've come from and how far you've come now, because it's
Absolutely, absolutely. Where have we come from? So, yeah, Table of Plenty is a completely grassroots organization that was formed by the residents of Chelmsford. Way back in 2010, this was really the brainchild of our founder and our first president, Maureen McCune. Maureen had an incredible talent to bring people together and help them see her vision and make it real. And she had a very simple but profound vision to have a weekly meal program in Chelmsford, where we could bring people together from all ages, all backgrounds, and sit down together and break bread to help with those two core parts of our mission: feed people who don't often get a meal or who don't get a good meal or who are facing food insecurity, but also build community. So bring people together who may not always rub shoulders. All generations, children, students, families, seniors, bring them all together under one roof. That was really Maureen's vision, and she found a group of neighbors with that same vision who worked together for about a year, largely around Maureen's dining room table, trying to figure out how to make this all work, all the logistics. Where are we going to serve meals? How are we going to raise money? What sources of funding are we going to pursue? How are we going to really get set up and make this work? Who are our volunteers going to be? How are we going to pull this off each week? We worked through so many challenges, but I think Maureen kept us at it. She was incredibly tenacious, and in January 2010, we were formally established as an organization, and then 6 months later, in May of 2010, we did pull it off and serve that first meal. And since then, we have served meals continuously, just about each week, with a few exceptions.
Even through the pandemic, too. We were partnering during the pandemic.
Yes.
Tell the viewers what happened during the pandemic with Table of Plenty?
Oh,
Because it was a really
certainly.
big part of serving people.
Yeah, so Table of Plenty has done its best to evolve as the needs of our community change and evolve. And obviously the pandemic changed things for a lot of people and made things quite difficult. Especially for us, we were no longer able to gather in the dining room and really, enjoy each other's company and share a meal together. However, we still wanted to help our community. There was so much need during the pandemic. It was a really challenging time, not just for Table of Plenty, but for the entire community. So we shifted gears and we figured out how we could still serve our community in the spirit of our mission while doing things differently. So we were able to switch to a grab-and-go format, where our cooks, thankfully, were still able to prepare meals in the kitchen. Sometimes we also got donated meals from the wonderful restaurants and businesses throughout Chelmsford that really stepped up. The whole community stepped up.
I remember you had bags of groceries you were giving out with the grab-and-go meal. People could drive up and you just give a bag of groceries.
That is true. We really expanded.
And gift cards.
Yeah, we did.
Really helped.
We really made an effort to expand what we were distributing to the community, and that was all thanks to the outpouring of support we got from Chelmsford residents and businesses.
Speaking of pouring, wow, there were some weeks there. It was like raining every week, every time it was a Tuesday,
so,
remember?
Yes, I do. No. We had some through rain, shine, hail, or snow, Table of Plenty, we did our grab and go.
Yep.
During that time, during that time, I was one of the regular volunteers in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I got a nice vantage point of trying to, and this got a little crazy. We served more people each week during the pandemic than we had ever served in our history. Yeah. So that was a brand new experience for us. We had never done this before at this scale. So like getting, and the senior center
there were like
parking
160 people and more.
Yeah, there were weeks where we did over 200 meals. Yeah. And moving that many vehicles through the senior center parking lot in a short amount of time, we got very good at figuring out how to make that work. We would
got
literally
costumes and everything.
Oh yeah, we made it fun. That's one of the things about Table of Plenty. We always make things fun too.
Yeah,
and we're very lucky to be able to do that. And despite the seriousness of our mission, we do try to at least take ourselves not that seriously.
Absolutely, that's why we love having you guys. So tell me a little bit about how you personally got involved as a volunteer.
Sure. So my wife and I, when I got involved, my wife and I had been fairly new to Chelmsford. We moved here in 2003. This was the first house we ever bought. We were only 4 years out of college when we purchased our place. Yeah, and we were looking for community. We were looking to build our roots here in Chelmsford and become a part of the fabric of the community and find ways to make that happen. So one of the things we did when we first got here is we joined St. Mary Church. And through St. Mary's, through a prayer group that we were actually in with Maureen and several of our other founding board members, we were talking one week about, faith is about more than just going to church and going through the motions. It's about putting your faith in action and doing things to help our neighbors in need. And we really took that call to action seriously. And Maureen said, well, I volunteer at this program, Open Table in Acton, with my grandson. Do we think that's something that Chelmsford needs? And from there, that's really how my wife and I got involved, being part of that group.
So you were there since the beginning?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So amazing.
that's where we first got involved in it. It was a really wonderful way to get integrated into the fabric of Chelmsford and really see how generous this community really is and how when there's a need, the residents and the businesses get behind it.
So I think that's wonderful. But tell me a little bit more about some of the volunteers. I think it's very interesting how you circulate your volunteers. And
sure.
Because you bring a tremendous amount of people into the circle.
We do.
It's really great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, during those founding years, we spent a lot of time thinking carefully about how we should organize our volunteers so that they don't burn out. Doing something every week, while noble, it doesn't work for everyone's schedule. So to alleviate that, we came up with a system of forming 9 volunteer serving teams. So
I thought it was 5. You have 9?
we have 9 volunteer serving teams.
gosh.
We do, and they generally rotate and serve once every 2 months, since there are generally 8 weeks in a 2-month span.
That really has grown.
Yeah, and our 9th team, we call them the 5th Tuesday team. So any Tuesday that has 5, any month that has 5 Tuesdays, our 9th team serves on that 5th Tuesday. So it's wonderful. We don't burn people out. We have 9 teams that are able to rotate and serve each week, roughly once every 2 months.
You have about, 20 volunteers maybe for each night?
So each night we do have somewhere in the vicinity of 20 people. So we probably have around 150 active volunteers. In addition to those 9 serving teams, we also have 2 phenomenal cooking teams led by our executive chefs, as we call them, Chef Barbara and Chef Kirk. Yep. And those teams rotate every other week, and they do all the shopping for the meal that week, all the preparation, all the cooking. So yeah, 9 serving teams and 2 cooking teams, plus probably 30 other people who do a variety of other things for Table of Plenty. We also have volunteer musicians who come to the meal and entertain our guests. We have people who pick up donated goods and bring them to the meal. So
you have a lot of like bagels, baked
bagel
goods,
donations,
things like
baked
that.
goods. Absolutely, absolutely. And maybe we'll talk about this. We have other people from other organizations who reach out and support us in many, many different ways and bring things that really enrich our program and what we do.
Absolutely. So are you still in need of volunteers, though, is the question?
Yeah, that is an excellent question. We are always in need of volunteers to help backfill our team. So as you can imagine, with that many teams, we do have people. A lot of our volunteers stay on for many, many years.
Yeah.
But we do have volunteers who switch out of teams and come and go. So we're always looking to help plus up our teams where appropriate. Yeah. One of the key things that we generally always have a need for are dishwashers. Those folks, it is not the most
thankless job.
It is a thankless job. It is not the most glamorous work, but it's important. And if you're good at washing dishes, we could always use you. Cooks, our cooking teams, they're pretty fully staffed, but there's always a need that, for people who are interested in meal preparation to help there as well.
How would people reach out to you to find out more about the needs or
our volunteer needs? Yeah, I would encourage you to please check out our website, tableofplentyandchelmsford.org. We have a volunteer page that lists some of those things that we do. We try to update that regularly with what is our most pressing need over the next few months. But please check that webpage out, and that will have all of our contact info. You can also visit our Facebook page. Send us a direct message on Facebook, send us an email, call us, and we'll put you in touch with our volunteer coordinator.
Excellent, excellent. And there's a number to call every week about the menu too, right?
Yes, there is. Yeah, we post the menu in a few different places. One, a lot of our residents are more comfortable with the phone, so we do put a voice message out that they can call and receive the menu that way. We have a website, so the menu is there, and then we post it to our Facebook page. And the only other thing I would say to our prospective volunteers is that what we do is completely open to everyone in the entire community, and there are no questions asked, and it's a very, very, very welcoming environment. So if you think you're interested in Table of Plenty and what we do, please stop by a meal. You don't even have to announce yourself ahead of time.
There's no registration. You don't have to pay if you can't, but there is a donation bin if people would like to, and some people do, some people can't. It's not a question at all, just like our lunch at the Senior Center, by the way. It's important for people to know. And so, it's just, I think it used to be like a stigma around maybe a soup kitchen idea, but this is different. This is a community meal.
Yes.
This is for people to meet each other, for people to not be lonely, for people to have fun. And
we do our best. No, thank you for mentioning that, Debbie. We do our best to break the stigma of there is quite a bit of stigma, especially with some of our younger residents, around asking for help. Yeah. And we really do our best to, not ask people, well, why are you here? Do you meet the income requirements? No. We do our best to not do that, to make people feel welcomed. And not that it's a handout, that you're really, when you come, you're helping to build our community, and we appreciate your presence.
Absolutely.
So we do our best to be very welcoming. And as I said, we do have people who come who really need it. They need that meal, they need the support, they need the nutrition. But we also have people who come for the socialization.
Absolutely.
They may be isolated, they may
I know
not get
people
out
with the
much.
big house on the hill, and they come to
Sure.
Table of Plenty.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
And so but are you also asking for the public to help support in terms of financially? How do you get that money? Because it is quite a bit of groceries you buy every.
It is quite a lot.
I know. I run a meal program. I know what it's like.
Things have, to put this in perspective, when we first started, our average cost per meal was a little over $2. Now it's more than double that, over $5. And especially this year, our costs are continuing to rise. And Table of Plenty is nearly 100% supported by individual donors and their donations. We do have some businesses that support us as well. Wholesome, formerly known as Aggregate, also organizes a large fundraiser for us each year. But yeah, we are totally dependent on donations. We don't have much in the way of other income aside from the generosity of this community that's really been amazing.
So I just want to say it's been a great partnership with you, Craig, because you also came to me as the director of the Senior Center saying, what can we do together for outreach to reach more people and help more people? And you've been wonderful working with our outreach coordinator, our social services coordinator, and creating opportunities for grocery assistance for people, and partnering with the Friends of the Senior Center and giving gift cards for folks, for Market Basket and for Hannaford's. And so you've also, we've been talking about some other initiatives with kids lately. You've branched out for some other outreach.
We have, yeah.
So tell them a little bit about what you did with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We are truly blessed to be in this position to be able to expand what we're doing to help our neighbors in need, especially around food insecurity in Chelmsford. So the meal is the cornerstone of our program. It's really the backbone of what we do. However, we do recognize that not everyone can make it to the meal. And we simply can't reach all of the populations in Chelmsford that we would like to serve if we just do the meal. So as far as addressing the need in other areas throughout our community, you mentioned a few things that we're doing. Really our goal is to partner with like-minded organizations who are working food insecurity, but also to address some of the seams that we don't address at the meal. So students, even infants, people throughout all ages. What can we do for those people that aren't able to make it to the meal to help alleviate some of the food insecurity issues that they're experiencing? So a few things we're doing there. One, as you've noted, we've partnered with the Senior Center, providing supermarket gift cards that you all are able to give out to seniors in need.
Which is so helpful when you see that somebody can't pay for their drugs and their prescriptions, not drugs, but their prescriptions or their food, and they're choosing between those.
Right.
It's such a beautiful gift to give somebody just a little bit of something to get through.
Exactly.
Or if their heating is finally is building their heating bill. Everybody knows their electricity bills are going up, but when you're on a fixed income, that really is very challenging.
Exactly.
And it has nothing to do with whether somebody's worked really hard all their life or not.
Right.
And it's it's great to be able to be part of that.
Yeah, well, we're so blessed to be able to help you with that. You also mentioned the partnership that we've established with Chelmsford Public Schools.
Yep.
So reaching out to students is one of the large things that we've started to do over the last 3 years, actually. What we're doing there is that, so students now, thankfully, everyone gets a free lunch at school. And we're so thrilled to see that program implemented statewide across Massachusetts. However, there is a need over vacations and breaks to help students and their families with food insecurity. So what we've done there is partnered with the school social workers at all schools throughout Chelmsford to provide those students and their families who need a little extra with either groceries or supermarket gift cards over the February break, April break, winter break, and summer break.
And who doesn't need that right now, really?
And
that list is longer than you think.
That list is growing. That list is growing. So yeah, just as an example, over February break, the school social workers put out an announcement in the district-wide newsletter that we were going to do this grocery distribution, and they had 58 families sign up for that. And we were thankfully able to put together, 65.
That's just the people who are coming and admitting that they need, could you really use it?
Right.
I think there are plenty more that could.
There certainly could be, and a lot of these 58 families were people that the social workers hadn't even been previously aware of as having that need.
That's amazing.
So we identified that. We had our amazing volunteers shopped at 3 market baskets and put together 65 grocery bags. And we also included a supermarket gift card with each bag, and we were able to give that to those 58 families. So we were thrilled to be able to do that. And throughout the school year, we also have been, each quarter we give an allocation of supermarket gift cards to the school social workers so they can distribute those to any student in need, because, having adequate food is a huge part of getting a good education. So we're thrilled to be able to do that.
So we're kind of short on the end of the show now, but I just want to say, what is the biggest challenge that we're having right now? One of the things we're talking about is adding transportation options and getting people there. That's how we're talking about, moving forward. What else do you feel like is the next challenge of in the next year or so?
Sure. I think the challenge for us is meeting people where they're at and really identifying those people that need support. There is still a stigma out there, and there are a lot of people who are fearful or prideful and don't want to ask for help. So I think our challenge is how can we navigate that diplomatically and compassionately, identify those people, help them temporarily until they're able to get back on their feet and back in a good place. But just understanding who those people are and identifying them and having them feel like they can reach out and not be ashamed to ask for help.
Absolutely. And come join the party, because it's a party there.
And it's a party.
I didn't mention that our LGBTQ group also meets there and enjoys a meal together, and then they have a meeting twice a month, right afterwards. So I just want to say that that's also out there. But gosh, it went so fast.
It did. We do a lot. So
I could talk for an hour about anything, you know me. But thank you so much for all you do. You truly are a blessing to this community. Thanks for helping build community. It's been great.
Thank you so much
for partnering with us.
Thank you.
Have a good one, everybody. See you next month.